want you to grab a Bible, grab a drink, find somewhere comfy. I am in my garden by the tree, and I want you to put in the comments suggestions of the parables that you think it might be, and there will be a prize, although I can't think of a prize that I can get to you at this time, but I'm sure you will just know, and you will just have the sense of feeling that actually you know you've won because you've guessed the right parable. So grab a Bible, grab a drink or whatever, find somewhere comfy, and comment below to tell me what parable you think it will be. So for those who don't know what parables are, they are stories that Jesus said, like Jesus shared, that had a different meaning. It's almost like a metaphor that you learn about in English classes. Jesus would speak about one thing but actually mean something else. So for example, the man who built his house on the rock and the man who built his house on the sand, it's about having a strong foundation in life and not having a strong foundation. So there are lots of different parables that Jesus shares. Hint, the one that we're looking at is not the men building houses on rocks and sand. It is also a bit windy out here, so everything keeps flying all over the place, but it will be fine. So yeah, I will give you one quick second to think about parables. Comment below what you think it is. Write down, or not write down, comment below what you think the parable is. Grab a drink, grab a Bible. If you don't have a Bible, that's okay. I will read the passage out for you anyway. So I'll give you about 30 more seconds before we start. Guessed the correct verse. So this is Luke 11 verse 5. So Luke is in the New Testament, which is, so the New Testament starts roughly here in the Bible, so like most of the way through. So Old Testament, very windy, Old Testament, New Testament, and then it will go Matthew, Mark, Luke, and then it's about that far through, if you cut it. Yeah, so for those of you who've just jumped in, this is my second try of doing a live stream, because the first one cut out after 3 minutes and I didn't get very far with it. You guys didn't even hear what parable I was doing, so big surprise for those. Okay, yeah, so Luke 11 verse 5, it says, Jesus said to them, suppose you have a friend and you go to him at midnight and say, friend, lend me 3 loaves of bread. A friend of mine is on a journey and I have no food to offer him. And I suppose the one inside answers, don't bother me. The door is already locked and my children and I are in bed. I can't get up and give you anything. I tell you, even though he will not get up and give you bread because of the friendship, yet because of your shameless audacity he will surely get up and give you as much as you need. say to you, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. For anyone who asks receives, the one who seeks finds, and the one who knocks, the door will be opened. For which of you fathers, if your son asks for a fish, will give him a snake instead? Or if he asks for an egg, will give him a scorpion? If you then, though you are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give the Holy Spirit who asks for them? So yes, so this is a story where a man goes to his neighbour's house and is like, I need 3 loaves of bread. Can you give me 3 loaves of bread? Which in today's society is a bit weird anyway, unless you know your neighbours really well, but 3 loaves of bread is a lot. But what made this story even weirder is the fact that it was at midnight, so everyone had been happily asleep, and all of a sudden you can't knock at the door and be like, hi, I need all the bread you have. And that is something that we not really think about. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, if I ask you a question, if you can write it in the comments and see if we can have a discussion, and also see what you guys think about certain things. So the first question is would you help them if I was to randomly knock on your door at midnight and go, I want your bread, 3 loaves of bread, not even just one, I want 3 loaves of bread, what would you do? Would you say yes or would you say no? To be honest, I think if someone knocked on my door and asked for loaves of bread, I would probably give it to them, just because I would probably want them to go away, and especially if I'm like tired, it'd be midnight, they've probably just woken me up, it would probably be the quickest way to get rid of them, so I don't have to like talk to them anymore. Yeah, so Gary is saying that he'd ask them why. So in the Bible passage it does say that someone's just come to visit them at midnight and they don't have any food to offer them. So I suppose that is why, but at the same time, why, if it's just 2 people, why do you need 3 loaves of bread unless you're doing... Have any of you guys seen, I'm not suggesting you do this, have any of you guys seen competitions where you cut a loaf of bread and it's whoever eats it the quickest first? I don't do that, please don't choke. But unless they're doing that, I can't see why they would go through that much bread. So yeah, that's possibly one reason why, but it's not really very clear. Magnus Mites is saying I would throw it at them. What, the bread? You'd throw the bread at them. To be fair, I would probably do that as well. I'd just sort of be like, throw it, don't even like particularly talk to them, be like, get away, here's the bread, never speak to me again. Or if you really want to speak to me, don't do it at midnight, because I like my sleep a lot. Okay, so one idea I also had as to why they were doing this was perhaps they were having a midnight feast. So a friend had just come to visit, you're all really happy and you decide to have a midnight feast. However, my idea of a midnight feast is chocolate, cake, pizza, loads of sugar, loads of things to get you really hyped up and awake just before you're about to go to sleep. If I was to have a midnight feast, I definitely wouldn't be like, oh yeah, I'm going to have some bread, because bread is a bit boring for a midnight feast. So yeah, there could be loads of reasons why, but actually in this they don't particularly ask why it is. They just sort of, because the guy keeps going on and on about it, like, please give me the bread, please give me the bread, you will give me the bread. The guy's like, fine, whatever, and don't particularly ask, and it just goes for it. So what kind of thing... So that's one example of, oh, that's a good idea. They can be making pizza bread. I hadn't really thought of that, but still 3 loaves of bread to then make pizza bread is a lot of pizza bread. But I do like pizza, so actually I think that's possibly the best idea we have currently, is why they're doing it. They're making lots of pizza bread. So I'm rolling with that. I mean, it doesn't say it in the Bible, don't quote me on this, but yeah. Let's go with the assumption they're making pizza bread, so they're going to chop the bread up, put a bit of tomato, cheese, whatever other toppings on, put it under the grill. They're going to make lots of pizza bread for toasty? I'm assuming Gary means toasty. Yeah, now you guys are just making me hungry. So anyway, Yes. What are other ways that we could help people in this time? So we're not really allowed at the moment to go and knock on people's doors and be like, hey guys, can you give me some bread? Because we're not really supposed to be interacting with people. So what are some other ways that we could help people today? Yeah, Gary did mean Tasties. Cool. So, what other ways could we help people today? So what about helping people that we're already in the house with? So we could help people with the cleaning, or cleaning clothes, or just playing games with people, like maybe looking after younger siblings or pets or whatever it is, and looking after the people around us. But also we could try and look after people who may not actually be with us, maybe far away, because we have technology. You're obviously listening to me right now through technology. We can use our phones and everything to try and talk to people and make sure they're okay. If they're lonely, chat to them on the phone, maybe play games with them, make sure that they've got everything they need, see if you can help them in whatever way possible, and really look after people in that way. So I want you to think of ways that you could try and help people, and comment below ways you could help people at this time. I think I've been doing a lot of like calling people, making sure they're okay and stuff like that. I had my friend was really lovely, decided I might be getting a little bit bored, so before the lockdown, I should say this, she put together a cross-stitch set for me and posted it, and it then arrived to me on the first day of lockdown, and I was like, oh brilliant, I can now do cross-stitch. Never cross-stitched before. I've already gone really wrong, but just like little things like that can obviously make a big difference. Magnus might just saying walk the dogs so they don't annoy the neighbours by barking, yeah? So you can look after pets and make sure they don't annoy other people, definitely good. I have met those dogs, they do bark a lot, all the time. Like, I don't really know how to stop them, they're very loud. Gary's saying you could get shopping for them online. That's a really good idea. So someone, for example, if it's an elderly relative, they might have run out of, I don't know, I can't think of something, milk, or they're very low on food and they can't go to the shop, and you can't really go to the shop and then take it to their house for them. So what you can do is do a food order online. They may not know how to do food shopping online, so you going out of your way to do that will really help them and really support them. Does anyone have any more ideas of ways to help people? I think it's also about just cheering people up in this difficult time as well, even just like on the phone to people, or I've done quite a few things where we've set up Netflix or whatever and then called people and be like, are you ready? Okay, 3, 2, 1. We'll then press play, so we're all at the same time. It then gets quite funny because you can message each other and tell them what's like going on in the show. You can, quite often it will go wrong because something will buffer, or like something will pause or something, and you're all at the wrong time, and it's quite a lot of fun to have some fun together. Magnus might also saying order them Domino's for no reason. That is a brilliant idea. If someone's having a really bad day, just order them pizza. I think that doesn't solve all issues, but will at least cheer them up a lot. So I want to now focus on the last part of that passage, which is Luke 11, so the same chapter that we were in before, but verses 8. So we did read this before, but I'm going to quickly read this again. No, sorry. Verse 9, not verse 8. So I say to you, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. For anyone who asks receives, the one who seeks finds, and to the one who knocks the door will be opened. So this is another parable, just sort of on the end of the one before, almost linked to it, because in the one we were reading before, someone goes and asks for something in the middle of the night at a really inconvenient time, and the guy's like, oh fine, whatever, but Jesus is saying that actually, if you ask God for something, he will answer, even if it is midnight and everyone else is asleep, God will still be there. If you look for God, you will find him. So if you pray and you're actually seeking God, you will find him. If you knock, the door will be open to you. So if you sort of set like this, you don't really need to knock at the door for God, but if you go to God and like be like, God, I'm here, I'm knocking at the door, like I want to be with you, he will be there for you. And actually this says so many good things about our relationship with God. I think a bug has just flown into my tea. I will not drink that anymore. Yeah, God's relationship with us is so different to other people's relationships with us, because we can get shopping for people, walk the dogs, order Domino's, and they're great, but actually God's ability to help us has no limits. I'm sure if Magnus Mites orders me 1,000 pizzas, he's probably going to run out of money, and there is a limit to that, whereas God's has no limit to it. So what I'm going to do quickly before we finish is pray, and then so dear God, I thank you for bringing us together, even if it's virtually, to learn more about you, and I thank you for being with us even in difficult times. I pray that you'll be with us when we're trying to help other people, and that we will all stay safe and well. Amen. So I hope you all have a good week. I hope you're all not too bored in your house, and I hope that everything's okay for you. You can keep on top of schoolwork, it's not too draining, and you'll have a great time.